you a little bit of a challenge. I challenge you to find another activity that is more fun than driving an Axopar on a midweek afternoon on a windy day. My name's Dan Jones. I'm from the boat brokerage, and I'm very excited to be doing this test for you today. This is an Axopar 2020 T-top, BRABUS edition. 300 horsepower Mercury, and oh my God, is this thing made to burn. But not too much actually. 50 litres of fuel, that's about all you need for a good day out. Oh wow, it's Wednesday afternoon, November here in Sydney, southerly winds blown through, nobody is out on the harbour because it is pretty cold. It's pretty cold. I mentioned in my walkthrough video, I'm wearing pants. I never wear pants in November, like it's legitimately cold. So the harbour's free. It's free for me to have a good time and explore. And as soon as you get out of the wind, it's actually not that bad. And this is the beauty of a boat like this. This is the beauty of a boat that's designed to eat up the chop. And whilst my hair is flipping around a little bit due to my COVID haircut, or lack thereof, I'm quite protected. I've got this beautiful wraparound windscreen. I've got some back flows or back eddies of the wind behind me flicking my hair up, and it is, I've probably got, I'm doing 36 knots right now, so in terms of speed over the deck, I'm going into 20 knots of breeze, so there's probably 50 plus knots. That's not that bad. Anyway, I think it's time I talk to you about this hull, so I might just turn into this bay and we'll put this thing through its paces. Now, Axopar probably needs no introduction. If it does, welcome. I hope you enjoy this. I suspect most of you have heard about this brand before. These guys brought the adventure boat category to the mass market. These guys understood that a good day out is a comfortable day out, and a comfortable day out means you're going to do it again, and it means your friends are going to want to come more often, and your area of operations is going to be wider because you won't be restricted by the conditions as you ordinarily would. And that's what this category brings to you and your boating life. It's wider horizons, extra opportunities, and just more fun. I have no issues. A windy, choppy day today, going out on this thing by myself, parking it by myself, anchoring it by myself, and just bloody well enjoying myself. And how do they do that? They're doing it with a beautiful deep V cutting bow, slicing through the waves at the front, and then maintaining that V all the way aft. So if you see this wash, it's just going out to the sides. It's not coming up and over the deck. And this bow is maintaining a flat attitude even through white caps. Now that's not something a lot of boats can do. I could have a coffee in the holder just here with the lid on, but it's not going to go everywhere. It's not like we're getting all this vertical acceleration like you do on many boats. And so maintaining a cruising speed of 31 knots as I am right now is completely possible. So what does that mean? Lunch in Rose Bay, sunset drinks in Manly, and head home to Hunters Hill. Yes, can do. So that's what these hull forms do for you. And then the layout, well, the layout's exceptional. This has got a double bed downstairs, so it'll sleep two. It's got a toilet forward, and then on deck it's all about fun. But you didn't come to this video for that, you came for the performance, so let's talk about it. I'm now going downwind. I've got 100 litres of fuel in the tank. I've got the 300 Mercury V8, naturally aspirated. This thing is rated up to 400. I don't know whether you need it. Well, no, I don't mean that. You don't need it. The 300's great. The power to weight ratio with that motor is fantastic. So now I'm into protected water. Let's just give it a true test in terms of our speed. This is giving me a little bit of a break here from the wind. I'm just going to wind it right up to full speed, and then we'll come back through the rev range. Okay, trim tabs up. Engine trim up. This new model, it does like a little bit of engine trim up. I'm not in totally flat water, but I'm in flat enough. I'm getting 41, 42, a little bit more trim, 43 knots wide open throttle. You know, that means fully loaded with 5 people on board to 8 people if you want, you'll still do 35 knots, no problems. Cruising, 30, easy. Now if we wind it back a little bit, I'll just take the boat through some cruise demonstrations. Yes, it goes slow, but who cares? You didn't come here to go slow on one of these boats, and you just don't. Sure, you can go off the plane at 10 knots, but you might as well just sit on a slow cruise like I am now. Here we go, 24 knots. I'm burning 30 litres an hour. That's really very, very good for a boat that's 28. It's actually closer to 30 feet long. Now, if I just increase that slightly, now that's, I gotta say, 24 knots, that's a super slow cruise on a boat like this. You don't cruise at 24 knots, you cruise at 28. So 28 knots, here we go. My revs are 4,000 revs. I got 43 litre consumption, and I'm doing between 28 to 29 there. There you go. Now if I notch it up to the fast cruise, which feels like 31 on this boat. Oh, then I'm sitting on 32 there. That still feels pretty good. So that's 50 litres an hour at 4,300 to 350 RPM. I'm doing 32. It's now reading 33, but I've got the wind up my arse, so let's call that 32. So that's really, really good. And then if we get back up to that wide open, here we go, that's wide open again. 88 litres an hour at wide open throttle, giving me 43 knots. Yeah, that's amazing. So now, we've got a little bit of exposed water here. I might just do a couple of manoeuvres and talk to you about what I'm feeling. I've got waves coming in from the east. I've got wind chop behind me, and I've got some ferry wash. I can use these trim tabs to adjust the angle of attack on the bow. So now I'm coming back into this southerly wind. I'm just going to lower the bow only halfway there. There's no gauge to look at, and they do that deliberately. They want you focusing on where you should be driving. But now that I've lowered that bow, I've got more cutting section exposed to the water, so it smooths the ride out even more. I can fully lower it like there. Now I can feel the engine working a little bit harder. I can see the wash going forward, and I've got maximum softness. But for this level of chop, that's just not necessary on this boat. Another little trick that I've noticed on the design of this instrumentation here, this is a go fast boat. You should be looking where you're going. You don't want to be looking down at the gauges and be that guy who runs over some kayaker or fisherman. So the design is such that when you lower your hand down over the trim tabs, it's a circle. And the bow thruster base is a square. Now, if you feel the circle, that's the one for the trim tabs. If you're in the marina and you're operating that, well, you'll know, it's the next one down. That's the bow thruster. So it's just these sensible little design cues that teach you, without you having to lose your focus, what control you should have your hands on. So I love seeing that sort of stuff, especially on a boat that'll do this. Woohoo! Honestly, show me a better activity on a Wednesday afternoon after work with 50 litres of petrol. I challenge you. Find something that's more fun than this. Alright, I'm going to go in a second, but before I sign off, I think we just got to do a burnout. I got some waves in both directions. I'm going to go hard to starboard. I'm coming in at 37 knots. Check this out. Even with those waves, the boat just gripped in there. We shook around a little bit. It was nothing dangerous. This boat can handle it. And look at this. I've got through the waves, no cavitation, and she's just eating it up. Through some waves, choppity chop, no problems. So I guess, what's my wrap up? If you're looking for a capable hull, if you're looking for sensible and above average cruise speeds and the ability to do a lot more with your afternoon, with your days and with your mornings, I think you need to consider this Axopar. My name's Dan Jones, this is the Boat Brokerage. I shall see you on the next one.